and welcome to Ife'S Village Podcast, your safe space for healing and fellowship, where we discuss all things Black mental health and wellness. My name is Empress Ife, and to the left or right of me, depending what this camera look like, is my lovely daughter, my middle baby, the balance, Miss Empress.
Hello, hello.
All right, we are going to jump into today's episode. This is a little bit of a freestyle, but we're going to give it a try anyway. If it come out right, we'll edit what we need, and what we don't,
Make it do what it do.
we make it do what it do.
Okay?
Okay, so, now I know,
What you know?
she and I have had this discussion, and, because she's a 20-something. I have 5. All of them different ages, no twins, no triplets, no quadruplets, none of that, all of them different ages. So as you can imagine, it's trying. But the topic that we are going to talk about today as it relates to all these different age groups of children is stop telling your kids when they become difficult or when they begin to defy you or begin to challenge you that they grown and they can figure it out themselves. Because that is what, Emmy? It's a damn lie. It's a lie. And all these parents out here setting their kids up. All these parents out here setting their kids up for failure. Because we sending them out into this big old world and they just not equipped. They're not ready yet. Your mind is still very young and very fragile at that age. You're embarking upon a new part of your life. Shit is confusing, right? It's confusing. It's confusing. You don't know what the hell is going on. You just trying to figure it out, right? And sometimes kids feel like, when their parents tell them, well, you can figure it out on your own, they start to, gear or go towards negative shit. And that's why you got all these kids out here stuck on substances, over-sexualizing, doing all these crazy things because they just cannot figure life out. And they just listening to folks that's giving them misinformation. So we thought this was a good topic because I've experienced it as a youngster. She experiences it. Her siblings have really, her older siblings have really experienced it. My siblings have. We all, most of us, especially in the diaspora, probably have experienced this to some degree. Now, there are some parents out there their kids can live with them until they're 80 years old. They don't care, and that's fine. To each his own. I think you're only strong as your tribe.
Right.
So it's good to have the benefit of all that wisdom around you as you're growing and you're developing. But anywho, I think we really need to stop doing that. I think it's dangerous. I've seen a lot of content on social media, especially this one. I ain't gonna say his name because I don't know the laws and the rules of this shit yet. But I've seen a radio host, a comedian from the diaspora who is constantly telling people, you done did all you can do for your kids. When they 18, you can't do nothing else. You gotta let them fly. And I totally disagree. I think some of that might come from, would you agree or disagree? I think some of that might just come from parents being tired.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes that's true, but I don't know. I'm not too sure I agree.
Okay, what's your take on it?
But it's like, I don't know. That it is true that the parents just get tired of it and it just becomes about them.
In part, I'm not saying wholly, but in part, that may play a significant role in it. But go ahead, I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
No, I'm not too sure how I feel on it, honestly.
Well, I mean, damn it, you gotta have some feeling on it.
Not on
so
that
say
comment.
You
not
were,
on that comment.
So say if you were a mom, right?
Uh-huh.
Your baby's reached the age it starts shifting about 15, 16 years old is when they really start seeking their autonomy. They start trying to find their independence. Mm-hmm. So for some, it's even earlier. But this shirt. But if that was your child and you got to that point, because you live with 18-year-olds, you know what that's like. Mm-hmm. You live with 20-somethings, you know what that's like, or you've been in those environments, so you know what that's like. So just put yourself in a parent's shoe. Because you do that any damn way. You be like, well, not my mama. So okay. Put yourself in that, look at it from that perspective. Okay. If this was my child.
I mean, of course, I wouldn't push them out.
Okay.
There's no, yes, I would not push my child out. I would give them the time, to develop and experience the things they need to experience until they feel like they're ready to go out into the world.
Right.
This is true. I don't think that they should be pushed out. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so with little LaQuanda, little Becky, little Sue, little Jermaine, all that. What if they start to defy the rules of the house? What if they start to disregard the things that the rules that you set down in your household?
I don't know. I might have to let them go. If I'm being real with you, let them do their thing. If they want to have their own set of rules. I mean, of course, I will start with reason. Okay. Right. So I don't know. I would just start with reason. I would talk with them first.
Right.
For sure.
And so that's what I be thinking. Like, oh, girl, this camera is.
Because they're.
But it was crooked, and I was trying to straighten it out.
OCD. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm proud of our little Ife'S Villages t-shirts.
Yeah,
these are handmade. Handmade. I still can't look. I don't know which way to go. I'm so confused. Okay. But okay, so. Let's try to stay on topic because I know we can get off topic.
There's always some common ground you can find.
Right.
I feel like, or that that could be the first option to take.
Okay.
That should always be the first option to take. But if all else fails, I just feel like, okay, you want to have your own set of rules. You want to follow. You want to do your own thing. Then go out and do that.
Go out and do your own thing. Right. So I agree with that. I do. I agree that, some kids just get to a point where they have to have their own space, you know what I mean? But even still, when they move into their own space, that does not mean that you stop being a source of support for them. I just don't think that we should tell our kids when they reach 18 that it's automatic that you need to leave your house and that you're no longer responsible for them. Because they're your children. This is my perspective. They're your children, and they will always be your responsible. You will always feel inclined to be there for your child if you are an involved parent. But, and again, I'm not judging anybody for whatever they decide to do. But we did think that this is an interesting topic because there's so many different takes that you can have on this, depending on your parenting style, depending on how many kids you have, depending on your age, because I think all of that matters. But I was saying earlier on that I do think that some parents just get tired. They get tired, especially if they have other children that they have to focus on that are younger. They get tired, they get frustrated, they don't know what to do, and they're trying to keep peace and balance in their home to some degree. So they like, look, you disturbing my peace and you got to go, and I get that. But even when they walk out that door, that does not mean that you don't remind them, in my opinion, again, that they can always make a phone call. They have a space to come when they need a shoulder, when they need an ear, when they need some guidance, when they need whatever it is that they need. Now some of these kids be want money every 5 minutes. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay. Cause see the way my bank account set up, that shit ain't happening. Okay, so not no more. It did. I got caught up in it, but I'm good now. I feel the baby is healed. Okay. But yeah, I just think it's important that we remind our youngsters or our budding young adults that they are not alone in this world. Suicide rates are rising for this age group from 18, I believe it is 18 to 25 for black males. They are disproportionately represented in suicide. And it's a lot of factors that's in that too, you know, because you got people that can't afford therapy. I go to work every day. I can't afford therapy. That's just the reality of it. I've had to stop therapy how many times? I couldn't afford it. It was expensive.
I can't even get started.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it was expensive. It was a lot. So, you know, it's just our children need us for the rest of our days. No matter what you think, you know, is going to happen when they turn 18. I'm 40 years old. And I still need my mom. I still need her.
Talk about it.
You know what I mean? So I don't think that part ever changes. I know that there are circumstances that may cause people to have to, you know, do what they have to do. But I think it should not be the first option. Yeah. That's my whole thing.
I definitely do.
You know, I don't think it should be the first option.
It's hard out here.
It's hard.
Okay.
It's
and
so
as a parent,
hard.
I feel like you should know that. You've been through it. So why would you?
So bright. She's so bright.
Why would you just throw your child in the jungle like that?
Right.
That's so crazy.
Right.
That's so crazy.
When you feel like you still in the jungle.
Right.
You know how hard it is. Like, people be coming for you. And when you in the diaspora, honey, you got all walks of life coming for your ass.
For no reason.
For no good goddamn reason other than the color of your skin.
That's all it takes.
That's it. So, you know, I just think that we may need to, as a society, as a culture, we might need to reconsider that just telling your child, well, you grown, and the minute that they did to assert the independence that you, by the way, instilled in them,
right,
then you're offended. Oh my God.
Like,
oh my God. Like, you know, you tried your parents.
Okay.
You know, I got all these, I be watching y'all. All these 70s babies, 80s babies, talking about if I would have talked to my mama like that, then I'd be on the floor. That ain't true. Because you still tried your mama. Every generation do it. Every generation do it. Some may do it. This generation, yeah, they really be trying it. But we tried it a little bit now. We may have gotten knocked on our ass. But we did not try, is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So every child does that. When they're developing, when they are reaching different milestones in their lives. And when you get to that young adult stage, you go right back to how it was when you was 5, when everything was, but why? But why? Why can't I do A, B, and C? And the first thing that come out of our mouths as kids, I'm grown.
Yeah.
I'm grown. You can't tell me what to do no more. But I'm still feeding your ass. I'm still putting clothes on your back. I'm still doing all of these things that as a real grown person you would be doing for yourself.
Right.
Whether you're in my house or out my house. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? So kids on one hand, that group, that age group need to be mindful of the words that they use when they're speaking to their parents, and they should respect their parents' boundaries if they choose to live in the house with them. Right. But parents also need to stop being so quick to just chuck your kids because you either tired or they just doing a lot or whatever the case may be. Talk to them. Figure out what the fuck is going on.
Yep. Take work on both sides.
On both sides. You can't, it's a collective. You got to do it together. Thus, Ife'S Village. We're going to pick back up. We had to take a quick little commercial break right there. Wait, I'm going to be looking for some sponsors too.
Okay.
So send me some products so I can test your stuff out.
Come on.
And yeah, we need that. We need some change.
Yeah.
Gotta get your hustle on. Okay, so, when your kids reach 16 to 18, and they begin to challenge your rules, your morals, your ways. This is the time where your role as a parent changes. Would you agree?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
So you become a confidant, a friend, a guide. You can't allow yourself to get angry because they're daring to challenge you, because it's as we said before, that's hypocritical. We tell them to challenge the status quo every day. Dare to be different. Don't let people put you in a box. So we can't get, when we tell them to challenge the status quo every day, we can't get mad when they decide to do those, when they use those rules to challenge the ways and the beliefs of their parents. Our children do not have to agree with us. Let me say that again. Say it with me, Emmy. Our children
do not have to. They don't have to.
Mm-mm. They don't have to
agree with us.
Wrong.
Y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't no parent yet, but you get what I'm saying.
Right. The children they don't have to agree with you, and that's okay, because they are in a process of becoming their own individuals, as we would want them to be. I hope at this stage of their lives and we want them to start challenging the norms. We want them to start creating standards for themselves that work for their lives. You know what I mean? Because they're becoming their own little individuals. And it takes some time. But it's the start. So at the start of things, that's when they're most vulnerable. You don't want to. It is the absolute worst time to shut them out. They're going to need you. They're going to need you. Don't you need your mom?
And when you say, I do, and I always will. Mm-hmm. And when you say the start of things.
I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry.
At the start of things, what do you mean? Like at the start of
that transition,
right,
going into that developmental stage of their life. It's 5. I could be wrong. I'm still a student. I'm still learning, so don't judge me. But I think it's 5 stages of development that we go through, and that's that stage where you really start to seek your independence. So I just think it's like the worst time to shut your kids out, because it can be confusing for them. They like, okay, what I do now?
Yeah, don't get it twisted just because we think we know everything.
Or we say we know everything.
That's not, we still need our parents at the end of the day. And it gets, it even gets, I don't want to say worse, but it's even more complicated from like a son and mother or daughter and father perspective from time, because it's already a hard transition for a father and a daughter. A daughter goes through so many things in her life. She gets her menstrual cycle, or it's all types of things, and that's already awkward enough.
Right.
And when you get older, that's just like it's a different thing. I don't know. It seems like
you don't need your parents to. You need them to. If I'm wrong, correct me. You need them to be there, but you also need the space to figure things out in your own time,
right,
and in your own way.
Right, and it's dangerous territory.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, but as a parent, I feel like you should always take that risk either way. You should always still try, even if it's like it gets complicated. If they start to express otherwise, they don't, then listen to them. If it starts to get strong, you feel me? But
I do.
But otherwise, it's just like I don't know. That it seems like you should back away as a parent. Sometimes it feels like you should back away.
Right.
And it gets scary, but it's like, nah, we need y'all. We definitely need y'all, because that's a confusing time for us. We don't know, we don't know what to do. We're still following those habits we did as a teenager, as a young adult.
Right.
So yeah.
And unfortunately, in the real world, like, because they have to start changing, that's scary in itself, because you start working and being in other social settings, different environments, and they soon realize, I can't be cutting up at work like I be cutting up at home.
Okay.
I can't be acting like, I'm out with my girls and we chilling. I can't just, I have to play this different role in these different environments. Yeah. And that's trying even for a full-blown adult. Mm-hmm. It gets hard trying to navigate all of these different environments, all of these different people that you interact with, and it can become overbearing and overwhelming. And I think too, with social media being the way it is, it's a lot of kids in that age group who are starting to believe they can learn everything from the internet.
Hello.
And while I do believe the internet has its perks, the social groups, the support groups, things of that nature, I do believe that they have their part, they play their part. And our scholars out here who sharing stuff about our history and, getting the things that our kids are not getting in school, I'm down with that. But it's also another dangerous territory for this age group to navigate. Because if you start thinking that you can learn everything from what you see on the internet, who shall? It's just right. It's not going. No, because about 89-90% of what you see on the internet is people putting on a show.
Faking.
They are faking.
It's not what you think.
They front. They ain't really living them lives that you think that they living, honey. I done seen people shooting in hotels. I done seen people shooting outside. And I be like, I wonder what their house look like.
Spending their whole check. Spending your whole rent.
Spending their whole check, whole rent. Because you out here trying to keep up with the Joneses on the internet.
Your whole phone.
And who they probably borrowed that from their cousin.
Okay.
They probably borrowed that outfit from their cousin. They probably borrowed that bag from their sister. Like, I'm just saying, like, you cannot live your life through the internet. That's not realistic. Now, there are some, social media influencers who really do invite you into their genuine circle. Mm-hmm. And I applaud them for that, because that's a very vulnerable place to be, too. Because it's a lot of judgment on the internet. But
too much.
I'm not going to say. Yeah, it's a lot. Sometimes I think y'all be saying too much. But, it just is what it is, and people gonna do what they do. But back to do what they do, feel me. Back to what we were talking about. Let me say something. I do have a bachelor's in psychology. I am getting ready to start the master's program up to be a clinical therapist. So,
yay!
So I do have some knowledge. I do not claim to know Jack Dilly Squat, because I'm still a student. And I believe I'm a lifelong student. I will forever love to learn. That's just who I am. And I don't know everything. And for anybody who wants to, give some, not positive, but at least respectful. If you disagree, just make the comments respectful, please, because I ain't doing that. And, but I just think that, some of the knowledge that I have, it does come from a psychology standpoint. And then a lot of it, though, is literally just coming from being a parent. Mm-hmm. Because we the best psychologists in the goddamn world. We really are. Those of us that engage our children, we your psychologist, we your what is it, primary care doctor, we your back doctor, we your everything, especially for a certain part of your life, we all of that. But I think that we learn so much as just being parents. We have to learn how to navigate so many different personalities, so many different needs, so many different mental health issues, just all these things that we have to learn how to navigate as a parent. So in the process, we are definitely learning about psychology and, things like that. But this is a time where, as parents, we should definitely humble ourselves and shift our ideas so that the world doesn't eat our children up, so that they don't go out into this world missing with misinformation, or getting the information from others, leaning on others for their stability, their understanding, their overstanding, their well-being. We do not want that to be the case. If you want them to be independent thinkers, if you want them to make decisions that are in their best interest, that will feed their being, then we need to continue to be a part of their lives. I get it, as a parent, it gets tiresome. It does. But maybe at this transition, that's the time when you need to say, okay, let me again work through this transition in their life, and I can also have someone to support me as I'm transitioning my role as a parent. Mm-hmm. We can't tell our kids to seek help and we don't seek help. That's why I thought it was so important to name this podcast Ife'S Village, because if anybody knows me, I'm just big on family. I believe that even when your family getting on your
and baby, they do it every time.
Honey, when they be trying your life, I still think that all of us have at least that one cousin, that one sister, that one brother, that one auntie, that one aunt, somebody that we can just have a conversation with, so that we can make sense of what's going on with our kids. We have to seek wisdom. We have to seek knowledge for our understanding. It's not going to happen if we don't do that. It's just going to be a whole bunch of misguided adults out here guiding kids to be misguided, and I just think that that's dangerous.
That being said, therapy is for everybody. Everybody. Really? Therapy is not a one race thing.
Hey.
Can we talk about it?
Can we talk about it?
It's not.
It's not.
It's not just for women. It's not just. It's for everybody. We all need somebody, and it's a journey. Mm-hmm. I'm still on the search. Of course, like it's a journey to find somebody you can relate to, somebody you really, or not even, and even if you can't completely relate to them, just feel comfortable.
Right, feel comfortable sitting down, just having a conversation.
It's tough to find that, but I feel like it is worth. It's worth that.
It's worth trying it.
It's worth trying. It's natural.
It's natural.
Okay.
We natural for here, y'all.
Okay.
But I agree with you. I mean, like, I just think that that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day about that therapy, because
it is.
We are so scared. Even me, as a psychology major, even you, my baby's a CNA, by the way, and she's in school right now.
About to be on my medical assistant journey.
Her medical assistant journey. She's about to make some papers.
Ultimately, we're going to do the herbalist thing.
Yes, that's what we're going. We want a wellness center. Wellness center. Can you say wellness center? Wellness center. It's a coming.
Okay.
But yeah, so therapy is so scary for Black folks.
It is.
We are scared of that thing. Now, I will say this. I recently, because mommy don't be on the social media apps and all that shit all the time. But recently,
not too easy.
Right. But recently, I have had to, because I want to grow this platform. I want to make sure that the message gets out there. I see a lot of brothers and sisters that are just doing their thing on social media, and I'm so proud of them. Like, we have a lot of Black therapists and a lot of doctors that are really sharing the things with us that we often don't get when we go into a doctor's office or we go sit in a therapist's chair. So I think that's why I said I think social media plays its part in informing us in a good way at times, but it just can be tricky.
Man,
But I've learned a lot.
Yeah, the internet, it's just very tricky. Like
it's very tricky, yeah.
I was gonna say, because the bad in it
is bad.
It can get bad. At all age groups.
Yes, all age groups.
I mean, like, I'm talking 4, 5, 6 years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just getting back to, what we were talking about. It's like, do you remember how confusing it was at the age of 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21? All the way up until probably 28, 29, we really don't have our shit together. We just don't. We don't. Men a little slower than women, but we just don't. And we really do need those positive adults in our lives that can help guide our growth. And it's not by telling them or dictating to your kids, what they should be doing, because this is where the role change come in. We had to do those things when they were just starting out. We had to. That was a necessity. Because they knew what came natural to them, but when they had to start going to school and shit like that, we had to teach them some things. So, we really just need those positive adults in our lives that can help guide that growth. And it's not by, again, telling them or dictating to them what they should be doing. It's about creating an environment where you ask them questions so they can begin to enlighten themselves. What would you like to do? How do you see your future? They need questions so that they can begin to think for themselves and develop a sense of conscious thinking and critical thinking. Like, that is, it's very important. We cannot tell them what they should be doing at that age. It's unfair. Because a lot of times we're just telling them what we wish we had done at their age, and it's not fair.
And might I add that you said questions out, like critical.
Right. Critical thinking. Critical
thinking. So not questions out of pure curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you get to be a nosy, okay, that's when it gets messy.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, if they want to be open with you, I feel like they will. And and
you have to give them that space.
Right.
You gotta give them that space to be like, if they say I don't want to talk about it right now, leave them be.
Right. So like, if you feel like you have to ask the question, then go ahead. But like she said, if they say they don't want it, they don't want to hear it, take that first answer and run with it. Because.
And it's not in the sense of leave them be, like, don't talk to them no more. Just give them their space to let them process. And then once they process, and I'm speaking from a parent with experience, when they process their shit, guess what? You ain't got to come to them and ask them nothing. They going to come talk to you. Because then they feel safe.
Exactly.
They know that you're going to give me time to work through my shit, get my thoughts together, make sense of what I did, so when I'm explaining to you, it can make sense to you. So, like, I don't think it's ever a bad thing to give your kids space, because sometimes all that chatter can be overwhelming. You two parents coming at you at one time, one parent, grandma, auntie, uncle, whoever, coming at you one time, that could just be a lot.
Yeah.
It can be a lot, and then you really get confused. So give your kids their space, and tell those people that are around them, like, just give them their space, give them a minute.
She ain't lying when she says she coming from experience. This is like real life stuff. Like, this is why I'm comfortable coming to her talking about almost anything, basically. So it's a girl right here.
And don't get me wrong, the relationship, our relationship is our relationship.
It is.
We have our moments, we bump heads, all that shit. We two ladies.
Yeah.
We gonna bump our head. We gonna be like boom, boom,
okay.
boom, 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 a couple of times.
Heads,
right.
Come right back.
Right, but we gonna come right back. We gonna circle it back, and we gonna get this shit together. But sometimes you have to be okay to disagree. Just don't get petty. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Don't get petty with your kids when they don't agree with how you see something should be happening in their lives. Don't be petty with your kids. Let them find their way, but just let them know, look, I'm right here. I sent my son a text the other day, and he's struggling, but I sent him a text the other day, just out of the blue, because it came to my mind. I wanted to remind him, you are not alone in this world. no matter how near or far. Your parents are only a phone call away. If you just need an ear, if you need a shoulder to cry on, if you just need a damn hug, you need whatever. I ain't giving you no money, but if you need, because I ain't got no damn money. But if you need that, that mental, that emotional support, then we're here for you. And that's all I said. I didn't say anything else. I just wanted him to be reminded of that, that we're always here for you on that level. But, yeah, so that's pretty much it. We just have to allow them the space to work things out, be there when they need us, and not overthink why your child is disagreeing with you, because you don't agree with everybody.
Okay. Like she said, stop expecting your child to do
what you did.
Okay.
Like that, they live in their own. They in a different era. They have different experiences. Some experiences are universal. Each generation is going to experience some of the same similar things, but each generation is going to have a different level of resilience. And when I say resilience, I just mean a different support system that will keep you from being at risk of certain vulnerabilities, like substance abuse, alcohol abuse, over sexualizing yourself, mental health, things like that. You have to just be okay with allowing them to work things out the way that they need to work out, and everything will fall into place. But you can't get mad. You can't be petty Betty. Petty Betty ain't cute. You need to sit her ass down and save her for them white people at your job that's getting on your damn nerves.
Okay, stop treating your kids like they're strangers out on the street.
Right.
I know you frustrated.
Girl, speak on that.
I know you frustrated.
Oh my gosh.
These folks at the grocery store, these folks in traffic, whatever you got going on. I know it's a lot. Don't take it out on the kids.
Right. And your kids, they not going to always understand what your experience is at that time. They're not going to know that you might be going through something all the time. My kids are very intuitive, and that ain't me bragging. That's just the truth.
She bragging.
They can pick up on my energy definitely in a hot minute. Mama, you good? You good, girl? No, you know my ass ain't good, but I'ma be good.
That's exactly how we be asking too.
Right? You good, yeah? You good? Like, no, goddamn it, leave me alone.
And we leave her alone.
Go eat some cereal, softly.
Not so serious. And we leave her alone.
Right. Go eat a burrito. That's what we tell her. So go eat a burrito.
That's the one. That's the one right there.
Go eat one of them Walmart burritos. Leave me alone. No, that's not Walmart brand. What is that brand we buy?
Monterey.
Yeah. They love them damn things. Them beef and bean burritos, child. But anywho, so I think we need to really stop following all these trends on social media that say, well, you 18 now, I don't owe you nothing.
Yes, and the internet is heavy with it.
They are. That's what I was saying.
They will make you feel like, you got some parts of the internet, don't get me wrong, for my ones who know, they know, you got some parts of the internet that's like, don't feel that pressure.
Right.
But then you got other parts. It's just like, they feel like you need to be independent. You need to have this much in your bank account, this car. Shoot, that makes you feel like you need to be married with kids.
Right.
Already.
And then it makes some people, it feeds into mental health issues because it makes some people feel like they're failing.
Right.
And I'm not saying that we're responsible for everybody's feelings, but I do think that we need to be more empathetic to what's going on in people's lives, you know what I mean, and not be so quick to just, share every idea that you have, because every idea you have don't need to be on the internet.
It really don't.
It don't, like.
Skip that first and second thought.
Right. Oh, girl, say it again.
Skip that first and second thought.
Come on.
Because it shouldn't be coming out your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't.
And how?
And how?
It should not be coming out your goddamn mouth. So, I think that we just have to be careful with these trends on social media and, stop saying that same that same rhetoric over and over and over again because our kids need us. That's not how our ancestors did us. They didn't do us like that. We were tight. We were a village. We were a tribe. We were each other's support. You know what I mean? And when the younger ones got older, they took care of the elders. And the elders continue to, when you put yourself in spaces like that, it allows young adults or budding young adults to benefit from the wisdom of their elders. It allows them to connect with their culture. It allows them to understand their past so that they can utilize that information to impart in their future. And it puts them on a better trajectory. It gives them a sense of confidence. It gives them a sense of well-being. It teaches you that I'm not alone in this world. No matter what I go through, I could be going through like the worst time of my life. I got somebody I can talk to. You know, you shouldn't. I don't think anybody. The biggest thing that humans desire is human connection. So when you don't have that, you feel a sense of you just don't feel well. You don't feel well. You feel lost and alone and confused. And as we know, that can fuck with our mental psyche. It fucks with our emotions. It fucks with our physical health. It messes with everything. So we really have to be careful about just pushing these kids to the side. Definitely. And just learn how to change our roles as parents, because that's our responsibility. They didn't ask to be here. So if you choose to bring this child into the world,
that's real.
You cannot just give up on them and just throw them to the wolves and let they got their own head get bit on.
I was saying that is real because everybody say that on the internet. Like, I feel like I hear that all the time. All the time. And like this, I don't know. I know like my age group of people, they've turned everything into a joke. Mm-hmm. And I mean, most generations do that. Most of our generations do that.
Cookie. Good.
We ain't farming.
We right. We careful.
Careful.
That's what that cupcake do to you, girl. Hey, you knocking yourself in the head like, nah, this is really, really good. Y'all want me to sponsor y'all here? Come on, bring it on back. I'm sorry, Eric.
Because I forgot. What was I saying? Hold on. It's going to come back to me. What was I about to say?
Oh, you was talking about, you was saying something to the effect about what people are saying on the internet.
Okay, yeah. They joke all too often about, you know, I didn't even ask to be here.
Right.
You know, like.
But they mean that shit to some degree.
Mean it.
Most jokes, you even heard comedians say that most jokes come from reality.
Yeah.
You know?
And also, I feel like, I'll say this generation because it is this generation. I feel like it's already tricky with elders. Mm-hmm. Like, we start to feel like, what's the word I want to use? Entitled, I guess, mm-hmm. to a lot of things. Mm-hmm. And I get where you know we come from with certain like opinions they have, like when elders disrespect you and you feel like, and you know they feel like they have to, you know, show that same disrespect that,
right.
You know, like before that wouldn't have been
the case.
You know, like they would have walked away,
right.
and just let it go,
right.
or something like that. So I feel like that is important, that, you know, the parenting, you know, changes a little bit,
right?
You know, so that the child is more comfortable with you, so that one day we can be in a better place for, you know, elders and
right.
and the young ones to get along, to look for mentoring through them, because that is important.
It is. It's very important. And it's absolutely important. It's very significant.
You know, I've had my feelings before. Mm-hmm. You know, I work at a nursing home. I had my feelings about some elders.
Ooh, yeah.
I love them like they my babies. Don't get me wrong, but I work in the southern state. I work in Georgia.
You heard her.
I work in Georgia.
Georgia.
Okay.
You already know.
It's a lot of, you know.
You can say, girl, it's a lot of racist people in Georgia.
It's a lot of white folks.
It's a lot of old school white folks.
I work in a nursing home. They got cotton on the walls as decoration.
Picking cotton.
Alright. I'm working my way up. This is for now. But yes.
Great right to you.
This is why I work. I just hate that I work somewhere like that, you know. But at the same time, I find I appreciate them. There's certain things some of them are out of they're not even there mentally.
Right.
But they still say things that's like it make you think about it. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, someone who always
So you still learn, even though some of them. Because even in negative spaces, we can learn.
We can, yeah.
You know what I mean? So even when you're in an environment where you have to deal with that type of rhetoric and, just people not understand. And let me tell you something. I got called a color girl when I first came to Georgia. And I was like, a what girl?
A who?
A what? Seriously, I had to leave. This was at Walmart. I told you about that.
Oh my God.
I had to leave out of work because I was fresh up out of DC. I had to leave up out of work to go take a breather because I was about to go off in that place when she called me that.
I mean, as soon as we get there, though, like that.
I'm like, a color? What? Where they say that? Apparently, they say that shit is. So, it's a lot of Southern traditions and, down South, especially in Georgia. Y'all know this the home of the gay. I'm just going to say it. It is what it is. But it's the headquarters. But, so, I keep that. I had to keep those things in mind. It's been a roller coaster learning. It's been a culture shock. That's the simplest way I can put it. It's been a culture shock. So,
and I came here second grade. So I was still young. I became accustomed to certain things. But even with parents that are from up north, it's like it was still a culture shock to me.
Right.
It was still like, come on now.
And my parents are from the South. Majority of my parents is from the South, like most of us Northerners. Our parents migrated to the north, or our ancestors migrated to the north, and that's how we got settled here. So a lot of Southern ways are, still in the north. But it's a different grain down here. It's a different grain. But let's not get off on the racist topic. But I'm just saying, even still in those negative spaces, we can still learn something as parents, as caregivers, things of that nature that will inform us. So that, we are, we're not impeding our development as young adults and as parents. Not following all these trends on social media that say, well, you 18 now, I don't owe you nothing else, and because that's not the case. Because guess who's going to be your caregiver? Caregiver when you can no longer care for yourself. So not only is it important to feed them in a way that helps them to develop healthy mental habits, emotional habits, physical habits, but it's also in your benefit because they're going to be the ones who dictate your care when you transition to your senior stage.
Yeah, y'all gotta be careful.
Right.
Like I said, I work in a nursing home. And I love it, and I feel like myself, I'm a great CNA, but there are a lot that I work with that are just not. Like I don't think that nursing homes are the future for our parents. I just really don't. So y'all just
That's
be
a good
careful
topic.
with that. It is, yeah.
That's a good topic. We're gonna check that
nursing
out.
Homes
do a little research. But yeah, because your kid, they are gonna be the ones that take care of you. So if you don't help them develop in a healthy way where their well-being is intact, then you're going to feel the brunt of that when they have to take care of you when you can no longer take care of yourself.
My parents ain't going to no nursing home, by the way. I just want to point
She ain't
that
putting
out.
us in no nursing home.
I ain't letting that happen.
It ain't happening.
So I got experience as a caregiver, so they gonna be straight.
Yeah, we're gonna be straight. We're gonna be able to chill. But it's also in your benefit because they are gonna be the ones to care for you or to decide who cares for you. So you just gotta be mindful of that, and because you want the best care for that, you want the best for them when they're younger, so that they want the best for you always, and especially when you become a senior and you need assistance, living your life. You're going to need someone to care for you, and you want healthy young adults to be doing that, and not angry, misguided, rebellious, just I ain't about to treat you right because you treated me like shit, or you shut me out when I needed help type kids doing that for us, when we become seniors. So I just look at it like Sankofa. As we get older or as we accomplish new things in our lives, as we reach new stages, new heights in our lives, it's important for you to reach back. Like, you got to look back. You can't forget where you came from, and you got to, when we're practicing Sankofa, that means that we're reaching back and we're pulling others towards their purpose and their goal by using the things that we've attained, the knowledge that we've attained, throughout our years and our developmental stages. So we have to keep that in mind with each stage. That's how we all grow. That's how we all develop. That's how we all become better people. And I think it's just crazy. Like, you tell your child that I don't want to help you, and just help yourself. Like that, it doesn't make any sense. And again, I don't know. Yeah, so we have to practice Sankofa, I think, especially for our culture, so that our kids don't get caught up out here and get lost trying to just follow trends that are just not meant for them. Trying to live a lifestyle that's not theirs, or they pick up beliefs of others that doesn't apply to their lives. And I think that's why it's so important for the elders to just stay present in these younger kids' lives. Do not turn them away. Do not turn them down. Don't give up on them when they're struggling. Don't give up on them when they challenging you, or just don't give up on them. I think that's so important. Stop kicking them out your house before they're ready to go. Because what's going to happen. They're going to end up right back in your house.
Okay, there ain't even no reason.
They're going to end up right back in your house. Because you haven't equipped them with what they need to really be adults out here yet. And to be honest, 18, that ain't no damn adult. That's a young adult. That's a young adult. That means you're a little pickling trying to figure your shit out.
I'm saying 18 is way too young.
It's too young.
Be 17.
It's too young. You still have not experienced enough to really know how to navigate this big old cruel world. Because this world, it's some beautiful people in this world, but it's some cruel jokers in this world too. And if we send them out there without their armor, ain't no telling what's gonna happen. So I think we just really need to keep that in mind. Please stop following these trends. Please stop thinking that it's okay for your kids to be out here when they ain't ready, because it's not. It's not. I've lived it. My kids, my two older kids, I lived it with them. They weren't ready. They were not ready. And while they're strong individuals, while they know that they have family, they didn't always feel like they did, because they couldn't understand why we would push them out before they were ready. And it didn't turn out well. They still trying, they still pushing. I'm proud of their strides, I'm proud of the accomplishments, but it's still a struggle for them because they left the nest too early. And we don't want to clip our kids' wings. We want to make sure that they full blown, and that they either know how to figure shit out for themselves, or they know where they can go when they need to figure some shit out. But just don't leave them out there, to dry, because it's not going to work. You think you're getting rid of some stress by kicking your kids out? You not. you create more stress for them and for yourself. So yeah, that part. What does that look like? How do we begin to change that narrative, especially in black families? Because we are damaging our kids mentally and emotionally when we shut them off before they are at a stage in their lives where they are really ready to take adult steps on their own. You know, I'm guilty of it. I did it with my first child. I did it with my second child. And I learned so much just from watching their struggles and their journey as to why that is not a healthy method. And I know all families are different. Some kids can get out here and thrive, you know, without any of that because that's how they were raised. Some jump, but for those, you know, some jump and reach higher heights. But for those families who are very close-knit, who have always had their children at their hip, who bought them, who, you know, who they grew up with, a lot of family members, well, they grew up around a lot of family members, they thrive on social, and they thrive on social support. They also thrive on having supportive environments. So you can't just throw them out there by themselves because it's confusing and it causes them to make decisions that will harm them instead of help them. So what does that really look like? How do we incorporate those things in our everyday lives so that we're not impeding our children's development and their transition into young adulthood?
Okay. Well, first off, before I say anything, I feel like, do you think that sometimes overstaying can also, let me just say it like this. I feel like if you overstay your welcome, it can damage you as well.
I agree.
I feel like if you're staying to your, like, I'm not even gonna put an age on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it like this: like, if you're not making a commitment to anything towards the future,
right,
or you don't even have an idea, you don't even have the beginning of a plan or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
After a while, I just feel like that becomes, you're just abusing that,
that
situation, exactly.
One, again, as the parent, from the parent side, I think that you have to humble yourself. You have to, and if you feel like you can't do that on your own, then seek some help. Go to a parenting group. Go to a family member who may, be versed in psychology, who may be versed in family therapies and things like that. Seek some type of help so that you can help your child transition without it becoming a burden to you. Because as soon as you feel like it's a burden, then that's when we start lashing out. We start treating our kids like shit because we just tired. We feel like we tired and we done. And I think that part of that, the first step we have to take is we have to have a conversation with ourselves as parents. And then we need to have a conversation with our children. And we need to let them know, look, I understand you're growing up. I understand you want to try different things. You want to experience different things. You want to start to do some things on your own. But just know that if you ever get lost, you ever get confused, you ever lose your way, I'm here. You can come have a conversation with me about it. Not to tell you what to do, but to ask you the questions that you should be asking yourself. It doesn't have to, and when I say it's so many tools out here for parenting, it's crazy. It's free tools out here for parenting. I will put some of them in the links. It is free tools out here for parenting just to teach you how to change your dialogue, to teach you how to change your interactions, to teach you how to recognize your triggers so that you're not allowing yourself to be triggered, or so that you have the tools in place so when you do feel triggered, you know how to handle that and not just go off on your kid and kick them out the door. Those are some definitely important steps. So it really is, like most things, about just some open and honest communication.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's the same. it's the same on the child's part.
Right.
To sort of humble yourself.
But your kids are going to mimic you.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
That's why I believe it does start with the parents.
Exactly.
Like if your child feels like, okay, well, mama was or daddy was okay with humbling themselves and, you know, trying to see things from my perspective, let me try to see things from their perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what your kids will say back to you in the process.
Exactly.
Because like I said, kids don't always understand that their parents are going through shit.
Yeah.
Because parents get really good at masking that. Because they don't want to, you know, spill that over or transfer that energy over to their kids. But your kids are more intuitive than you know.
That's what I was about to say. Sometimes we just know it.
You just know.
Just with the simple things. It's just not like, you know, regular everyday, I feel like.
Right.
Whenever you're in a different space as a parent, whenever you're in a different space, we just feel it.
Like you feel it, right. And so, you know, that can make your kids standoffish. It can make them feel like I'm not talking to them. You know, they just gonna go off on me or whatever the case may be. But just find something that works for you so that we're not harming these kids and then looking at them like, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, I'm the product of you. Your child is an extension of you, of your behaviors, your mannerisms, your mindset, your emotional intelligence, or not. You know what I mean? They are an extension. They are an extension of you. So don't be mad when your kid don't know how to communicate. A damn boss. Don't be mad when your kids don't know how to communicate. Start looking at yourself and try, because that literally is a reflection of you. If they don't know how to communicate, it starts at home. It starts at home.
Communication is such a bad. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's such a big thing in our community, especially, and we like to put it. We like to hide it. We like to, like she said, y'all mask it, and all. You know, you got all types of tactics you use to to not show the things you're going through. But
I don't know. But I was thinking about this while you was talking. It's okay for your kids to see you cry. It's okay for your kids to see you vulnerable.
Yeah.
It's okay, because that teaches them compassion. It teaches them empathy. It teaches them emotional intelligence. I need everybody to say this word with me. Emotional intelligence.
I went the wrong way
That's okay, camera crazy. But it's so important, because a lot of what we do, a lot of times, especially us, we are such passionate people. That's why we're so gifted in the way that we are, because we're so passionate. But you have to learn how to harness that passion so that it's not offensive, it's not hateful, it's not belligerent, and it's not negative and harming. If you don't know how to do that, your kids are not going to know how to do that. If you teach your kids how to converse, if you teach them how to manage their feelings when they arise, if you let them know that whatever they're feeling is valid and it's okay, nobody could ever take advantage of that when it comes to them in their lives, in their other relationships. Because men and women will play on your vulnerabilities, on your fears, your doubts, your worries, for their benefit. So you have to be very careful to teach your kids how to validate their own feelings and to work through those feelings so that they're actually learning something from what they felt, and so that they understand their triggers, so that they know how to handle those situations when they arise again. If you don't do that, you're doing them a disservice, in my opinion. And this is just opinion. Please don't beat me up. It's just an opinion.
Don't come for it.
Right. It's just an opinion based on experience.
I agree.
So, yeah, I think we just really need to work on that more.
I hate when y'all forget what y'all say.
Girl, I do it all the time. Or when you walk in the room and you forgot what you've been in there for. It's so.
Walk through, try again. I don't even know.
Don't pass go. Go back to jail.
I told y'all before.
Because I mean, it's so hard out here for all of us. especially having this beautiful melanated skin. It's rough out here for us. So if it's rough for you as an adult, imagine how your child feels. Remember how you felt as a child navigating those waters. You know, and I know our kids don't be wanting to hear no stories and all this other type of stuff, because sometimes we just beat them in their head. But save those experiences for when they're experiencing something similar to that. So you can use that to show them how you navigated through it. Whether it was negative or positive, they can still pull something from it and be like, either, well, I ain't going to do what mama did. Let me try something different.
That's a good tip.
Or,
It's a very good tip.
thank you, boo. Or, she handled that really well. Let me try it this way. You know what I mean? It's just, we can all learn and grow from each other. Nobody is too good, too grown, too black, too nothing to learn from the next person. We're not in this world alone. We have connections, we have ties, and that's with purpose. You know, so we need to utilize those ties, but we need to create safe spaces for our kids, our young adults that are trying to figure this shit out, so we can lower some of these suicide rates, so that we can, you know, fill our kids with the strength and the knowledge that they need so that they can navigate their lives in a way that keeps them healthy, that keeps them happy, that doesn't have them out here seeking just a whole bunch of negative shit just to cope. You know, so they're going to have to deal with enough stuff as it is, but we are their guides, we are their teachers, and that's lifelong. That does not stop when they turn 18. It just does not stop, and it should not stop. I ain't going to never stop calling my mama.
Okay.
Even when she has transitioned, I'm still going to be talking to her, because I talk to my daddy now. You know, so I'm just saying, like, it may his soul rest in peace, but it behooves us to not do that. We need to stay connected. We need our ties. We need our support systems. We need to respect our children's feelings. We need to validate their feelings and teach them how to validate their own feelings. We need to make sure that we're reminding them that therapy is okay. I'm a big advocate for therapy. I'm a big advocate for it. If you can't afford to go sit in a chair, if you can't afford to do teletherapy, find you a pastor. Make sure he a conscious one or she a conscious one. Find you a pastor. Find you a good friend. Find you an elder in the community, somebody you can trust, and go talk to them. Don't hold all that stuff in and then you just blowing up on everybody. I'm talking to my young adults now, you know. And parents, stop hiding shit from your kids, because they know any damn way. They know. They're not stupid. They know. But we're going to wrap this up, because I think little Emmy Bear is getting tired. She get a little sheepy.
I'm not.
I'm just fucking with you.
It's fine.
But, yeah, so, yeah, guys, just love on your babies. Just love on them. Always appreciate them. They can teach you something just like you can teach them. Sankofa, Sankofa, Sankofa.
Very, very true.
Sankofa.
You're going to always need your mama.
You gonna always need your mama.
Always and forever.
And on that note, thank you for joining us at the Ife'S Village podcast, your safe space for well-being, all things Black mental health and wellness. We appreciate you. We want you to like, subscribe, and share. Do all those beautiful things for us. This is a rough cut, but you know how we do. We just gonna keep doing it till
we gonna keep it real, baby.
Okay, but yeah, please come back and see us. I'm going to stay on top of these episodes, get these guys out. I should be dropping something once a week.
Yes.
And yeah, I think this was good. Was it good?
I think it was great.
It was great. It's great. Just awesome. But thank you. Thank you for joining us at Ife'S Village. We want you to be a part of our family. So please join us. We would love your feedback. Please comment as well. We need comments, so we know what you want to talk about,
Talk to us.
what you want to discuss. You know,
tell us what's on your mind.
you want to shoot shit? Come on, shoot shit with us. You know, we're gonna try to do. What else did I say? Oh, I'll talk about all that stuff later. We'll do that later. But yeah, please follow us. Please subscribe. Please like and share. Please comment. Show us your love. Be kind. Be honest, but be kind. You know, your girl. I get hurt too, but it's okay. I can take it. I can take constructive criticism. Keep it on them lines. Okay. Constructive criticism, and we'll do it that way. Keep it classy. But yeah, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. Here at Ife'S Village. Next